Okay, let's see if this is all working here. Let's see if this is all excellent. All right. I don't want to forward that. 1 second, everyone. Alright. Let me check my audio here. Alright. Let me check my... Okay. So, welcome everyone. Welcome. I believe we will probably have some people come in here at some point, but I'm going to go ahead and begin just with the drafts here. So, anyone who is not aware, I am Biscuits, and or also known as Mighty Space Fruit, depending on, well, which one you prefer to use. Usually people call me Biscuits because it's just less words in general, but I like Mighty Space Fruit. I think it's a fun name. Now, I'm here with two grand finals. First one we're going to do is the Recruits Final in the Open Land Division between Scrappy and MonkeyJuggler, aka Grape Juice being Scrappy in question, JoJo being MonkeyJuggler. I'll probably refer to Scrappy as Scrappy. I might refer to MonkeyJuggler as JoJo because that is easier to say. Now, this is a grand final. Now, I have actually played against Scrappy. I'm a little more familiar with him. I don't know how he has adjusted his playstyle. I haven't seen any of his sort of games in a while, so he might have changed things up. But I wouldn't call him a Cav player per se, but I do think he generally tends to thrive when he has lots of open space to work with. Quite good with CA, especially playing with the Huns. But again, maybe he's changed things up. I don't know much about MonkeyJuggler, to be honest. I've seen him around TCC, around comedy tournaments, etc., but don't know much about him. However, I have taken a look at here the drafts that they have done in this tournament specifically, just in the specialist tournament. So, you know, presumably if I were to look at more data, I'd probably find more out about them. But here we have just the choices they made for specialists. So, in particular, we have Scrappy picking Land Madness twice, banning Haboob out 3 times. I think, in any case, you look at the things where it's just a single ban, especially when it comes to a map, it doesn't really necessarily mean too much because, you know, it could just be a map that you think you're not thrilled about. So it's not the most important thing to keep it around. Haboob usually means that probably just don't want to deal with it. I wouldn't blame Scrappy for not wanting to deal with that map in particular. It's quite tricky, I would say. I mean, it's very open. There's pretty much just 2 piles of wood. The hunt and the sheep are kind of very close. It's very easy to get lamed. So I wouldn't blame him per se. And JoJo, you know, from what I could see, doesn't seem particularly thrilled about Haboob either. He's banned it twice himself. So probably don't have to worry about that too much. And we can see here it was indeed banned by MonkeyJuggler. So not a big deal. The rest of the maps seem, you know, pretty, nothing too crazy, nothing that stands out. We do have JoJo banning dry graveyards twice. But doesn't seem to be a high priority because dry graveyards was in fact picked here at the end. So no, not prioritized, banned out of either player. We do have Atacama, Haboob, Cliffbound, Sheepfold being banned out. Sheepfold being one of the new maps added in just the knockouts. I believe Rocky Forest was the other one. Looks like Scrappy's a little more comfortable. But we are going to start with dry graveyards here. Really open map, has a bunch of relics spread around. Lithuanians are great on this map. Really thin wood lines. And then we have for the home maps, JoJo having Sacred Springs and Sanddrift, and Scrappy picking Ravines and Rocky Forest. So, taking a look at the civs. We have for Scrappy, Saracens, Berbers, Khmer, Huns, Tatars, Portuguese, Bengalis. There's the classic Huns. I'm almost a little surprised that JoJo didn't ban out the Huns. Maybe just thought that, even though it's kind of a great civ for Scrappy, maybe just think it's not that dangerous or that much of a threat. Seems to think the Georgians, Spanish, and Aztecs are a little more threatening. Scrappy banning out Mongols, typical pick. Magyars were also banned because, they're a very good open civ. And then Jojo picking Chinese, Franks, Hindustanis, Ethiopians, Cubans, actually randoming Bohemians, but not a terrible choice, Slavs. There is actually a lot of options here, so it is still best of 5. So, I mean, even if you don't play Bohemians, it's not a huge deal. You still have 6 civs to work with if you think that is a terrible choice. And if we take a look at the civs that were picked throughout the tournament for these two players, we did have from Scrappy Berbers and Portuguese, Khmer, Saracen. Those are all picked twice. But he's actually got a pretty wide range. So kind of hard to pin him down. Only actually picked Huns once in this case. So again, maybe, Jojo was just thinking it's not a huge threat. Or maybe he was not super familiar with Scrappy. I'm not sure. Scrappy banning Persians and Mongols repeatedly. Don't blame him at all. Strong civs. Can be hard to deal with. And interestingly, Jojo also likes to pick Khmer, but didn't prioritize it. Didn't even pick it in the first 2. So Scrappy did get Khmer there. I think that's a great civ. Banning out the Magyars is great too here because Jojo has picked the Magyars 3 different times. Interesting, like Jojo did pick Georgians 2 times before, but banned them this time. Maybe just thought they were too much of a threat. So nothing too wild here. I don't think the players went too crazy on the specific bans for the enemy. Kind of hard to do, actually, to be honest. They have a pretty wide spread other than sort of Magyars, Georgian, Hindustani, Khmer being particular picked for Jojo, which were still chosen Hindustanis. Great civ against Cavs. Although, if you look at Scrappy's choices, it's not that, it's not that heavy into Cav, right? We have Berbers, Saracens, they have their own camels. Saracen camels should probably be Hindustani camels until we get late imp, I think. Could be a problem for Huns, but at the same time, CA is pretty good against camels in general. Once they get on them, it's an issue, but for the most part, when you have a lot of space to work with, you can kind of run them a lot. Tatars, same thing with CA. So, the Hindustanis, it's not like we're going against Franks here. Instead, Jojo has Franks here. So, just reminding ourselves of the maps. I mean, you can kind of see any of these. I could see kind of any of these picked on any of these maps, really. We're going to start off with dry graveyards. So, I mean, to be honest, it could be any of these civs, I feel like. Maybe not Bohemians. Probably not Cumans as well. I would think Jojo might want to go Franks. Franks or maybe Slavs, strong Cav civs. But your opponent could go for, one of the camel civs. So maybe you just do Hindustanis. Could be an option. Hard to say. Could kind of be a wide array. Like I said, there's a lot of civs to work with here for just a best of 5. But we're going to go ahead and get ourselves into the game here to pull this up. So, we have here in the red, Grape Juice, aka Scrappy. I'll probably just call him Scrappy. Playing as the Berbers. And indeed, MonkeyJuggler, aka Jojo, I'll probably just call him Jojo, in the teal, playing as the Franks here on dry graveyards. So we have a lot of very thin wood lines. You can also see they're kind of far away as well from the TC. And there are also a number of relics sort of scattered around the place. Lithuanians are a pretty common pick. You see there's 11 relics here. So you'd have to get a lot of map control to deny the enemy Lithuanians from getting a good amount of relics. Probably a better plan of action than denying all of these relics. It's just, being aggressive or cutting them off from being able to deal with, have the time to get out of a monastery. But we don't have that in this case. Instead, we have Berbers versus Franks. Now, I would say this is a pretty terrible matchup for Franks. The Berbers have cheaper stable units in Castle Age, I should say, which does include their camels, and the Franks are, of course, very well known for their cavalry, specifically the knights. Their knights are very strong, they have extra HP, and they are a big threat when you get to a lot of paladin. However, it is a problem in that that is kind of their main thing. In a similar way to Ethiopians, it's a little predictable, right? You open stable, you go for a scout rush, your opponent goes into pikes, then in Castle Age they go in, they open spears, then in Castle Age they go into pikes, or they go on to camels. That could be a real problem for the Frank player, and I don't know what JoJo has planned. But whenever you play Franks, you need to be wary about just going straight stable without any sort of transition. Especially against the Berbers, because the problem is, the biggest sort of, or one of the biggest, I suppose you could say, power spikes of the Franks is getting to Castle Age and getting Knights out. Knights are, of course, a great unit in Castle Age. They're very good just out of the gate, even without any upgrades. And it is the unit that the Franks want to be on already. And not to mention, like, they don't have bloodlines, first of all, but they don't have to worry about that. So as soon as they get a Knight out, it is extra tanky. But of course, if your opponent's in Castle Age, they have cheaper camels. And cheaper camels are not a great deal when we're on full Knights. So it's a bit tricky to play, I would say. Now, you don't have to open a stable. You could open range, to be honest. You could open range, go for some pressure and feudal, then go for a crossbow time attack. Now, as the Franks, crossbows are perfectly fine, but of course it's not a long-term option. You don't have Arbalester. I don't think you have Thumb Ring either. You don't have Thumb Ring, you don't have the last armor, you're missing Bracer. You absolutely do not want to commit to range units long-term. But when it comes to the Castle Age, the crossbows are very strong. Well, I wouldn't say very strong. They're as strong as, most other civs without a bonus. But that is to say, I think it's a perfectly viable option to go for. Especially when you might be a little concerned about your opponent having a good answer to your own knight. You see, Joe seemed kind of be egging on Scrappy to idle the Vills there, but Scrappy was not biting. A little bit of a scuffle. We do have some idle time for JoJo here. Not a huge deal. It is about like two Vills. You can see Scrappy's up about 2 Vills here. I'm not gonna flame JoJo at all for that. You know what happens. I think we are missing these sheep, which is the big problem. I see this. Oh, actually, that kind of sucks because they're like just on the edge of the vision, and you're pretty close to the enemy TC, so it's pretty tempting to just go scout them. But yeah, I think missing those 2 or those 4 sheep even kind of really hurt. But at least got the 2 boars in, which is probably the biggest thing. I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Scrappy got all of the sheep there. Up on 19 Vills, 20 pop. Getting the barracks out. Beginning a sort of wall here. We're pushing the deer, very nice. But you can see JoJo's already about a minute behind. Does have the wood to drop a barracks. Not a huge deal. But when you already have kind of a bad matchup like this, having a rough Dark Age start is not a good situation. A deer got to rest in the berries there. Very nice for them. In their final moments. At least it smells nice. And yeah, and there's... Okay, at least JoJo found the sheep in the end. We do the barracks coming out. Building a sort of wall. Yeah, I mean, you could wall to here. That's not too bad. It's a little far to go here. I'd probably just wall to the TC. You could build a... You have this back gold, so... You can build stable range here, whatever you want to do. Walling here is probably smart. Or here, whatever you want to do. There is this gap here, though, so you do need to cover that in. Okay, so we have the barracks. We have the stable back here. I don't know why Scrappy put the stable here. I mean, I guess... Well, no, you've scouted your opponent. You know the barracks is here. You also know they wouldn't be in this direction just based on the way the map generates. So I would really prefer this to happen over here. Not a huge deal, it'll just kind of slow the reinforcement time. I think there's also a gap here. But it is a stable opening. And even going for horse collar, ooh. It's kind of greedy, but Scrappy can afford to do that because he was up earlier. Okay, we are opening stable. So if we're gonna go stable v stable here, we do have better scouts, assuming our opponent doesn't research bloodlines, because they have more HP. But I hope we see some spears from both players. Defend our wood lines. I was going to say something else. It's mostly our wood lines, I would say. It's the most vulnerable part. And then at some point when we go for gold. Although here it's not too bad for JoJo because, you know, you can kind of wall around here if you want. Wall over here, wall to the TC. And it's right next to your lumber camp, so it's a little better. Scrappy's going in. Some stray vills. Shouldn't find a pick there. But it does force some sort of idle time there, and the house is not built. We do have scouts coming out. So you can see how the Frank scout, 54 HP. Berber scout, 45. However, we have 3 scouts, and just about to be 2 for the Frank player. Which is not good. When we're doing a scout war, or really any war where we have the same unit, we always want to have more than our opponent, or even. But I like this walling up. I kind of would prefer maybe just a little more forward with the house, give your gold miners a little more space. I don't know if there's a gap there, but there might be. Ooh, that Vil kind of out of place. Great play from Scrappy there. Find that Vil. You can see how this is a nicely placed spear, but JoJo could still find damage. I mean, these are nicely clumped up Vils, though. Ooh, running out of the TC. But we shouldn't get hit. Now, there is 3 full HP scouts, so we don't want to engage with that. Okay, we're building a nice house wall here. So we should still be fine. We've got some good damage in for Scrappy, but now we're housed. We should still be fine, though. It is kind of an ugly house wall here, but it'll do for now. Okay, yeah, we take the engagement. We did have a spear in there, and that made all the difference. We have pretty low HP scouts. Unfortunately, we're not Georgians, but it is great for us to kick off the enemy. And you can see how JoJo's not really able to get any pressure in on the opponent, both because he was late to feudal, and because Scrappy did a good job of engaging the enemy army. Now we have some more scouts that are coming in. It's kind of limited how much damage they can do. They're going to go in for this Vil, but they might all die in the process. I'm not sure if that's worth, but it is. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. So in this case, it's probably worth because Scrappy's already ahead, right? You just do more damage. It means you're even more ahead when it comes to your eco. But it is dangerous because you can see now we have 6 army to 1. And the 1 army is this single spear. And Scrappy's also just going onto spears now. I don't mind it, to be honest, because you don't really care about going light cav long term here. You're going to want to go camels against the enemy's knights that you anticipate. Bidag's coming in now. Scrappy's had Bidags for a long time now. They're just looking for some damage. Spear's well placed. Not a good engagement there for Teal. Sees the 2 gold Vils here. You could maybe go for them. Fortunately, our scouts are out of position. Ooh, Spear's going to get some more hits. We might get a pick here, though. Hi, Scrappy. Welcome. I'm glad you're able to change your name. Yeah, that's the funky thing about YouTube. I don't typically watch YouTube streams, but it's kind of... I already have my channel on here. I don't really want to deal with Twitch, to be honest. The only reason I watch Twitch is for AoE too. A bit of an inefficient lumber camp here. Going to need a new one for Scrappy pretty soon. We have 4 spears now for red, so we should be safe, but we do need to be cautious. In theory, your opponent could add a range, but I think they're more thinking about going up to Castle Age. Has a lot of gold. Got into gold a little too early without anything to do with it, but if you drop a market, you could be well off. We do have a spear now in for Teal, which I like, or 2 even. However, this is a big mess here, which is not great. We didn't lose any scouts there, but the spears are going to get shanked. They definitely are in the wrong neighborhood here. We did get a pick, actually, which is nice for Teal. There's actually... Okay, there's a lot of spears now for red. So now, we just want to stay away and be annoying. You know, you don't want to... Yeah, you don't want to fight that. Uh-oh. We're going to lose all of our army. Okay. However, after all is said and done, we're back to about even Vil count. Dropping the market. I think Scrappy will be up to castle first. It's coming in pretty soon. We are missing the second building. Okay, there's the market. We're about to click up pretty soon. Our opponent will sell, or sorry, buy some food to click up pretty soon. I would still say, yeah, okay, we're cleaning up first. I would still say this still favors red for sure. Because your opponent, if they get up to Castle Age before you, or about an even time, they're still better off because they can make camels now. They can make discounted camels, which is kind of the bane of your existence. We have a line here of spears. This lumber camp is I think Scrappy just placed it here because it was convenient, like it was nearby. But this is definitely these guys are a little out of the open, kind of in front of all the walls. Would have been better to put it back here. I don't blame him for placing it here, to be honest. I think he had a bunch of villas, need to do something with them. I have another stable coming out. I don't know what this placement is. I would like it here. It'd be nice up in front, and you can start walling as well. Oh, this is kind of awkward. You want to be careful about placing a bunch of buildings here at the base of this hill, because then your opponent can siege you down. In any case, going on a forward gold here. I don't know why. Getting a lot of gold. I guess we've mined out a lot of this gold, and JoJo just wants to be on that for knights, which is fair enough. Monks will also make a pretty big difference here in a sort of knight camel. Okay, we're getting a nice house wall here. The spears are a little out of position, actually. This is a nice fight. Ooh, and he even pulls them out. That's very nice from JoJo. Just be annoying with those scouts. I think you could also do well to go scouting, like the rest of the map, find the relics, see where all the resources are. So Scrappy's up to Castle first. JoJo will be not far behind. But what are they going to do? Oh, we have knights coming out for Scrappy. Interesting. Do we have bloodlines? Oh, we have bloodlines. Okay. Interesting. And going into a range. Okay, so in theory, if we have about equal upgrades, we should be able to make more knights than our opponent, which I guess means we should do better than them. Wait, does this knight not have extra HP? There's 120 and the enemy has 120. Am I crazy? Should these knights have more HP? Or is it change age dependent? Do I not know how do I not know how the Franks work at all? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Well, in any case, this is still good for Scrappy. We have 5 knights out. Our opponent only has 2. About to be more. But we're getting in here. Getting some damage in. I can see maybe the choice for the knights is just they're better at raiding, which makes a lot of sense. I think it's not a bad idea to do straight up, and you can always add in camels later. We're taking a lot of damage. We still haven't lost any. We do have, yeah, we have the first armor, which is very nice. Oh, it is age dependent for Franks. Interesting. You know, I didn't know that. So that's kind of interesting. You see, they have the same max HP in Castle Age, so they're not even as crazy as I might have thought. It's only really in Imperial Age, with Cavalier and Paladin, that they get really wild. In any case, we've kicked away our opponent. So actually, the Knights is not even a bad choice. If your opponent had significantly more Knights or even Knights, you might want to consider adding in a few camels. Although I think adding in monks is even a better idea. Stable here. This is going to be a very smelly workplace here. Between the stone mining and the stables. Okay, so we have getting husbandry in. Both are still missing the second armor. Actually, we have forging in for JoJo. We don't have a monastery at all for JoJo, which can be a problem. Getting more damage in for Scrappy. This is great. Scrappy loves to play like this, and I do too. If you just keep being annoying, being in your opponent's face, and then they never deal with your eco. They never get into your base. And I don't think that conversion is going to happen. Yeah, I think it's going to get out of range. But the monks are a great addition. It's a really big swing when it's knight v knight. Knights are going to come in here, but we should be able to garrison these and shouldn't be an issue. We don't have fletching for either player, so these TCs are not amazing, but they're at least protection. Oh, okay, and we might get some conversions here too. That would be really bad. And yeah, that's rough. You want to commit if you're going to be in that situation, because at that point they're just too close. They can't get away. You might want to at least try and kill some monks. The conversions are going to happen anyway. And now we have the tricky situation here, where we have great knights as the Franks, but our opponent could just make more of them for better. The eco is still pretty even, but we have a huge army lead. Huge army lead for Teal. I think this range was probably added, thinking about giving an option for our pikes, or for the enemy pikes. But nothing has been produced out of it so far. Yeah, Scrappy doing a good job of being annoying. Floating a lot of gold. Could either add a third TC or think about going forward with a siege. When you keep killing your enemy's army, I think the killing blow is... Think about a castle, which we can't really do right now. Or forward siege. Now we have the monastery coming out, but it's very late for the Frank player. And it's even going to get denied here. We do have the 30 seat back here, which is nice and snug and safe. But we still don't have much army. And it's still a fletchingless TC. It's not that big a threat. Still missing the second armor for Scrappy. Ooh, I think, yeah, we straight up bought that castle with 1,200 gold. That's a good use. Nice and aggressive. I think if I was tea time, I would say, why don't you delete all of these buildings and then place it more forward. But I think this is great. This is excellent play with that. Ooh, that's a nice pick though. Ooh, it might even get 2 monks with this single scout. 3 kills on this. But the castle is going to go up. And what is Jojo going to do? Now we're up to 1 army only. It's this single scout here. Which is not great. We're going to go for our own castle, but I don't think that's going to work. It's way too late. I don't mind the castle in defense, but I think you got to put it further back to protect something else. Another TC coming. I guess it's going to go down. I mean, this is just... You're just going to lose vills here. And then this castle doesn't do anything for you, really. Because this TC is going to go down. It's not like it protects anything. All it does is protect is stable. Which maybe you find valuable, but... It's also awkward. Yeah, this staple's being ranged too. This one's like just out of range. It's actually both, or half of the production. Oh no. Jojo, you gotta get out of there, man. Monster didn't even come up. This is looking great for Scrappy. Don't have any stone. I think you'd like to get onto stone. Think about dropping either a third to Z or go up to Imperial Age. Also, you want to try raiding your opponent. I don't think Scrappy's seen the new TC, but you think about, okay, I've got this locked down here. I can go around the side, see what I can do. Kind of giving your opponent space to breathe, which could be dangerous. Berbers are super strong, yeah. I haven't played Berbers much, but I think I might try them out more. They seem pretty fun. I also quite like the idea of playing with cam archers. We're up to 69 vills for Scrappy and 63. But we're still just 2 TC versus... I mean, I'm going to count this as 3. Because I don't think this one's... maybe it is producing. It's like maybe 3.5. Because I guess this is fighting this. Okay, but we're up to Imp. So I think it's going to be the killing blow for Scrappy. I do get Bombard Cannon, I believe. Yep. Both civs get Bombard Cannon. But the Frank player here is so far behind getting up to Imp. It's like nowhere near close. Needs a lot more farms. Doesn't have any army. Man, see, if Scrappy just took these knights and went around the side, you could just kill all these vills, end the game immediately. Your opponent has no army at all. I know you don't know that, but if you keep killing your enemy's army, and they seem like they're on the back foot, You want to try and keep your foot on the gas and keep killing them. Monsters coming out here. I think this one, I guess the location's a little better. It's a little quieter over here. Okay, now we have the third TC coming up. Here on this hill. Now we're getting all the eco upgrades for Scrappy. So yeah, this is looking very good for Scrappy. We can get up to Imp, get out some Trebs, kill this. And our opponent doesn't really have much to do. They still, they're keeping pretty good pace on eco, and they are going to still have more vills than us for now. They are off gold completely. This one's denied. We do have gold here, and there is gold on the sides. Not a much, but we could go over there. And we also could grab some relics. But, of course, no gold means no knights. And no knights means you guys should just go full halb. Which is not terrible, to be honest. But the thing about halbs is, yeah, they can get some good engagements if there's enough of them. But they're extremely immobile. I mean, you can't really get any damage in on your opponent's base. We're stone and walling now for JoJo, which, I mean, I actually don't I don't really mind. But it is expensive, and we're not even on stone. And yeah, Scrappy's getting Trebs out. I wonder if we're going to go for Cavalier. We actually do have Cavalier as Berbers. Still no one on stone. I'd really like to see Scrappy get on some stone. That would be really nice. For another TC. Another castle. Going into range. Okay. I don't know if we're thinking about hand cannoneer here. Maybe we think our opponent's going to go into camel archers. I'm not sure what the play is there. We'll get up to Imp pretty soon. Sell some food. But the hand cannoneer doesn't really matter. Because our opponent only has 6 pikes. But yeah, I think Scrappy's respecting this position too much. I mean, this is good. Like, obviously, wait for the castle to go down, and then you can kill all these vills. But, like, you can see there's no defense here. These vills are exposed out here. These farmers out here in the open. And I really hope we get more blacksmith upgrades. Throwing knives? That's not right. Throwing axes are out, but it's not really enough for them to do anything. Now the TC is going to go down. I mean, Scrappy's fine to just, like, hold the position. You don't have to be too aggressive here. The only thing is it's just, it can give your opponent an opportunity to get back in the game if you don't, like, push your advantage too hard. I like this wall with the range there. We're going into CA. Interesting. Now, we have no Bracer and no Thumb Ring, and also no Parthian Tactics, so it's not really a good Imperial Age option for the Franks. And yeah, now that the castle's down, Scrappy is sending in the Knights, getting in a lot of damage. Yeah, man. That kind of sucked. GG. 11. Ugh. GG. I get it, man. It sucks. I don't blame. It does feel bad. To be honest, though, like, the matchup was pretty bad already. And, you know, if we look back at the beginning, when you have a really bad matchup, yeah, having a bad start, bad Dark Age, being really behind, means momentum's even less in your favor, and you're going to be even more screwed. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely still a chance to win as Franks versus Berbers. Right? No one plays perfectly at this chance. But, I mean, if you look at how the match played out, things didn't even look that dire for JoJo, to be honest. I mean, we lost a lot of vills, but then Scrappy had no army, and then we had a bunch of scouts, and we actually disrupted him a lot. I mean, I think you don't know this as a player, but there was a point here you can see JoJo even up the vill count, and then, you know, did a decent job later on of booming up, and not here, but later on was trying to get back in the game. Had more vills at the end, but at the end, I think the problem is that, like, this matchup is already really bad for you as the Franks, right? So you really want momentum to be behind you. You need to go for some sort of, you know, crossbow play. Maybe you need to get a bunch of knights and monsters out before your opponent can get stables out. So you don't want to be behind And I think Teal wasn't quite sure what to do, which I don't blame him. But, you know, it's not really, if you look at the way like the game plays out at this point, I don't think it's, like, I don't think it's there's a chance to win here, but your odds aren't great. So if you look at what you want to do differently, it's really not here later in the game. It's looking at the beginning. With this matchup, you really need to have a cleaner Dark Age compared to your opponent, or, you know, even you have to get some sort of damage in earlier, which actually did happen. You know, it wasn't that far behind, but I think once Castle Age hit, you know, sort of Jojo just didn't really have a good answer. Maybe needed to get the monk out, or the monks out earlier. Dropped his range, it wasn't used at all. That was where they could have been put into a monastery. Not sure. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and get into the next game, which, annoyingly, I have to go... Let's give 1 second here. I have to go back to the replay and add in game 2, because otherwise I could potentially spoil myself, which I don't want to do. So 1 second here, folks. I think if I was in reverse, but this is just me, Monk Pikes. Yeah, I think Monk Pikes could work out. It's a very immobile army, so if you're going to do Monk Pikes, you're probably going to try and boom up. As the Franks, of course, you have a very nice eco bonus in that your mill upgrades are all free, which means that, you know, you could potentially boom up better than your opponent, potentially. If you play a really nice and defensive, staunt, keep their sort of army at bay, you might have a chance. It's a little awkward too, because it's like, if you play for the late game, they have great camels, and it's like not a great option overall. But, you know, yeah, I think there's some potential. But hard to say. It's a hard match to play in general. Yeah, I agree, Scrappy. I think Jojo played better than maybe he thought he did. I say that just based on his... I get the frustration, to be clear, but I think he played better than he may have thought he did. In any case, we're here on to game number 2. There is a win for Scrappy in game number 1. We have Scrappy in the red with the Khmer. I think MonkeyJuggler should be blue. I actually don't even remember. I'm terrible. I think he was blue in the last game, so we're going to put him blue again. And this time we have MonkeyJuggler, aka Jojo, with the Chinese in the blue. And we're on Sanddrift. This is a pretty interesting generation. The TCs are pretty close here. This is interesting to me. So the main mechanic or feature, I don't know how you want to call it, of this map is the fact that you cannot farm around your starting TC. Now, what does that mean? Well, it is a big problem because usually when you add farms, this is like your safe space, right? You add farms around here and they're secure because it's in the TC. You can't do that on this map, so you have to expand out to the sides, and that could be a big problem because obviously it's more exposed, your wheels don't have anywhere to go. That's why walling is really important, and you know, you could put them in the back here or something like that. Now, Scrappy has picked Khmer, which I think is a great choice here on this map, because as the Khmer, you have an excellent farming bonus. If you put a farm down, your farmers know how to magically transport the food straight into the TC. So they don't have to be near a mill or anything. It's a lot easier to place. It's actually, dropping mills and farms is actually a really big problem when it comes to space here on this map. Before you get to Castle Age and drop extra TCs, it's really awkward because you have to go, you know, take up a bunch of space here or something like that. Drop a bunch of farms. Like I said, it's very exposed. Can be a big issue. With the Khmer, it's a little alleviated. It's not perfect, of course. Like, you know, you still have to farm out on the sides. It can still be exposed. But they have another bonus where they can garrison into their houses up to 5 bills. So that sort of works quite well in consort, I would say. And then, of course, they're a very nice, stable civ. Not stable as in, like, secure, but I guess maybe that too. But rather that they have very nice knights and scouts potential with their good farm eco. And they, you know, that, of course, always works very well on a nice open map like this. Especially in a case where you might have villas that are out in the open because they are farming away from the TC. For our opponent, we have the Chinese. Chinese, of course, their main bonus is having extra vills to start with. However, those extra vills don't guarantee you have like a huge bonus. You have to keep your TC running, otherwise you will sort of just fall behind because you start with 0 food. Now, we still will be at least a vill ahead once our opponent researches Loom, because we researched Loom at the beginning of the Chinese. But we still have quite a bit of ILTC time here for the Chinese player. We had to drop a house, we were housed, we weren't sort of producing out of the TC. It's sort of hard to play if you haven't practiced it quite a few times. And even then, you can mess things up. Like, there's another game I played recently, I killed 2 boars, and it was a big problem. So that was pretty terrible. Luckily, it didn't happen this time for JoJo. Playing extra bad to give you a chance, my friend. Of course, that's true. You gotta give, you gotta give Scrappy a shot. You can't just like, you want to make it an even game. Pushing in the zebra there. But I think JoJo might be a little flustered here. I don't blame him. And I think in both of my playoffs, it was both the hybrid and the closed division, I played a lot worse. And then I could usually do, or maybe worse than my potential, I would say. Of course, credit to my opponents, but I played pretty terrible. And I felt kind of bad afterwards, to be honest. I feel fine about it now, but at the time it was very frustrating. That's the way this game can be. There's a lot to do. Just honest, don't want you to be sad. That is very generous of you. We're about to be up for Scrappy. I think we'll be up pretty soon after for MonkeyJuggler. We just have to build this mill, and then we'll click up. I wouldn't be surprised to see if both opponents went for the scout opening again. And it's kind of awkward here. You can wall this, but it's like, it's kind of sucks. But I think, okay, he's actually about to scout his opponent's TC. Ooh, Scrappy hasn't seen his opponent yet. This scout has just seen a dead skeleton. Is wondering what happened here. Okay, you see the enemy house. So now I think you have a pretty good idea of where the TC is. So this is a nice wall, but you should probably wall this too. I mean, lumbercamp here probably would have been better because it'd be more secure. But not a huge deal. You can still wall this. It's kind of far, but you can make it happen. But nice to scout your opponent. I assume JoJo's probably waiting to see what military building Scrappy will build. We actually, we're a little late for Scrappy. We don't have a barracks up yet, and we're about to hit feudal. A nice little tap. It's just like a knock on the door. That's all that is. Going for this, I think you'd rather place a lumbercamp back here. This is towards your opponent. Lumbercamp and horse collar again. Again, the stable back here. I think Scrappy doesn't scout the opponent. But, sorry, sorry, yeah. It wasn't a knock on the door, it just, it was an accident. Again, would be better here. Yeah, I mean, you haven't scouted your opponent, but the way that the map generates it doesn't, I'm pretty sure it's not on the same, like, side of the riverbed here. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Scrappy now scouting the opponent here. We do have a stable out for both players, it looks like. So both players have generic scouts, in the sense that they don't, like their scouts themselves don't have any upgrades. The stable would have been a little nicer up front as part of a wall, but this is at least forward, which I like. And now the Khmer farming is coming in. Nice and secure back here. It's really nice to work close to where you live, right? You can just go home if there's a raid. Oh, you and JoJo trash talk each other? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think any of us mean-spirited. What is mean-spirited is, I don't know what... I'm not sure what JoJo's... Like, this is really cramped. The scouts are coming in. Ooh, really quick, actually. This feels about to die, I think. Yeah, it's about to die. Well, you don't have any spears on this side. There's, yeah, spears over here, but... kind of position. You can see this is kind of... tricky. I mean, I guess, I wouldn't mind a lumbercamp here if we're taking gold here. It's not a bad idea, but it's really cramped in here. And our walls are not up. And see how this stable's kind of in the way. Would have been better over here. But that being said, these 3 scouts, ooh, they come around the other side. You can fight back. You might lose a vill or 2. Yeah, you can still fight back. Okay, the scouts are coming in. Alright, you're blocking in those vills. Keep them protected. Another spear coming in. They're having a meeting. Talking about, you know, work as it goes. You can't farm around this TC, it sucks. So you have to add farms over here. Which could be a real problem for JoJo. You see how Scrappy set up the farms nicely back here. You see it's nicely walled on the side. And here on the side. Not full walled, but we're getting there. And this is nice and secure. As opposed to MonkeyJuggler, we don't have any farms yet. And we're still getting hit. We need the spears to come over here, really. This is where we keep getting attacked. However, we can go in and get some damage done. Not really the house. That's not what I'd recommend hitting. I mean, I know the Khmer are fond of their houses. We can get these Berryvilles, though. They're exposed. There's no spears around. And we're looking. And to get some hits in. Okay, nice. It's interesting Scrappy built a barracks because you don't need a barracks to build a stable, but it can be very good for spears. So it's good of Scrappy to not be too greedy. To get a stab off there. Yeah, you don't want to go into that's too many vills at once. A really nicely designed base for Scrappy here. Kind of a bit awkward here, kind of spilling out, but not a huge deal. Okay, we're walling up. Now we have a range. We're going to add in some archers. If we add in archers, we're going to need fletching, of course. And I think we don't have a blacksmith yet. Okay, now we're going into this gold. Getting a lot of gold. Hope we get some archers out and or market, preferably both. Okay, now we have army place here, but I think now the problem is now this is an opening. And Scrappy's going to take advantage of it. He's going to look around the side. Sees the range. No flags on it right now, though. Ooh, yeah, this is very nice. This is kind of what I was worried about. And spears are not in place. They're over here. I'm going to get some damage in. So now the spears don't want to be here because this is walled in. They want to be over here because this is exposed. Oh, no, and then GG is called there. I don't blame GG there. It just kind of... Things seem to be kind of falling apart. You can see how Scrappy was not too far away from Castle H himself. And MonkeyJuggler was taking a lot of damage. Spears are out of place again. I think a lot of this comes down to just the way the base was set up. I think it's a little better for... Generally, a little bit better for Scrappy. I think it's a little easier to go up against the back wall here. But... You could do something similar from MonkeyJuggler, right? You could sort of look back here. Or I guess you did have the berries here. So what you could do is kind of wall up here on the side. Maybe wall up here towards the TC. You could drop some farms here. I think with the way the things were set up, things are sort of a little too far spread out. We didn't have the spears in the right spot. And Scrappy was very good with being active with the spears in general. You can see how, like, this is kind of what I was worried about. This big opening. Scrappy did a lot of damage here, disrupted their opponent, and then when it was walled up, Scrappy went around the other side, found damage here, and then JoJo was out of place. And these scouts are also out of place too. But very well played from Scrappy. Another win on the board. Go ahead and head into game number 3 here. Pardon me 1 second. Game number 3. Okay, so this is going to be match point for Scrappy. Wins this game, he wins the whole finals. And we have, in the red, with the Saracens, Scrappy. In the blue, with the Ethiopians, MonkeyJuggler, aka JoJo is what I've been calling him. So, Saracens versus Ethiopians, interesting. On this map in particular, we don't have any boars. Instead, we have 10 deer. Or in this case, well, they're ibexes. I'll probably get them deer. We also have a bunch of outposts, which is very nice. Gives ourselves a little more time to be aware of what's going on. Kind of, you know, avoids towers being too strong. You see, like, you have to take the minerals, the home minerals here in the gully. The tower could be really strong, but you can see it coming better with the outposts. Now, on this map, I think, yeah, I mean, so you can drop a mill here, grab the deer. A little less well placed, but I honestly don't. Dropping a mill for the deer is not bad. You can push them as well, but honestly, dropping a mill for them is not that bad either. The thing about this map is you see how the woodlines are really far out. I think that may be another reason why Scrappy banned Magyars. Not just because MonkeyJuggler likes the Magyars. Any like strong scout rush civ can be a really big problem. You can wall up, like it's not that hard to wall up on the sides, but it's like awkward to wall up the back side, right? So if you wall up here, you have a lumber camp, then what do? You wall up here towards the TZ? Like that's, you don't really want to do that. That's pretty expensive. So that can still be quite exposed depending on how it goes. We have sort of lumber camp over here. We can wall towards this mill. I think this is nice actually, because you want to place a mill here anyway. You want to keep your vills clumped together if your opponent's going to scout rush, because then they have a better chance of fighting off. Let's see, a nice back lumber camp here for Scrappy. Hopefully we plug this hole at some point. Maybe you don't want to wall this, it's kind of far. Maybe just, you know, keep a spear around. Might also see stable opening here again. However, I actually think you probably just want to go archers at the Ethiopians here. Now, I know I was talking about in the first game, you would be cautious about going into your like strongest unit that's known for, right? Talking about the Franks, where going into just pure knights can be a problem because it's easier to counter because it's expected. Going just opening archers and just going full archers Ethiopians can be a problem because then your opponent can just build skirm, elite skirm, and then you can just kind of be screwed. Now the Saracens have perfectly fine archers. They have good archers, but in this particular case, like I think archers are really good, right? You look how awkward it might be for Scrappy if a bunch of archers sitting here on the top. They get a bunch of downhill shots. They shoot faster. Your opponent might go for skirm opening, and then it'll be a bit of a micro battle. But I think you're well off. I mean, if you want, you could still open scouts and then go into range. I don't mind that choice either. At some point, you probably need something to deal with the skirms, which is always something awkward that the Ethiopians have to deal with. But I honestly think opening archers could be really good here. It's also something to note, right, like in a case where it doesn't really happen here for Scrappy's base, but in a case where, say, MonkeyJuggler walls up here and here, then you could sit some archers here and shoot them down. Like any times where it's a sort of short walls, archers can be a good choice. But this is honestly, I think this is a really good spot for archers to sit. But we'll see what the opponents decide to do, the players decide to do. Pushing in the deer there, very nice from MonkeyJuggler. We have this patch of deer here to collect still. I think getting the deer in is probably maybe more important than scouting your opponent on this base, on this map, since we don't have any boars, since it's our main source of food. Going in for the mill now. Here to have a mill up for blue. I think he seems to want to scout first before getting these deer. I also still wouldn't mind a second mill for this. Getting loom in. We're actually already clicked up for Scrappy. Got a lot of those deer really quick. We even have loom. Well, we'll click up pretty soon for blue, and I don't think it's that big a deal on this map. I also don't think it's that big a deal, especially if you're going for archers, because you need a big mass of them, as opposed to scouts, where you want to get them out really quickly. Like you want to get them in the enemy's base as soon as you possibly can. Archers, you want to get a nice selection of them. Scrappy again going for the back production. I actually, I mean, I think this is probably just, you know, wall up the wood line. You haven't scouted this wood line, which is probably the reason why. But I still think I prefer a more forward production and go around here. Not a huge deal because you probably aren't going man at arms. This could be an issue depending, but it is still kind of out of the way. MonkeyJuggler is almost found the opponent. Isn't on gold. Does have the barracks. Okay. This is nice walling. The wall here too. Opponent's up to feudal. They're up to feudal early, but I don't really think we have to panic. We're opening stable again, which makes sense. Okay, we saw the outpost, so now we know where our opponent is. I don't think Scrappy's seen the enemy yet. Where's the scout? Oh, okay. We gotta go scout our opponent, though. Okay, barracks is up. What is the choice? Okay, we're walling. We haven't added our second... Oh, no. Jojo, we're missing... We're missing... Okay, well, hopefully that doesn't become a problem later on. Actually, no military from either player. Well, actually, no, sorry. Scrappy's making scouts already. Does enjoy the scout rush. He's going to go in on this scout. But now we know our opponent's going scouts, so we can make spears, right? Ah, we go for stable. I think archers are better here. I think your opponent's on scouts. Go for, make some spears. Get fletching archers out. Because, like, here's the thing. We don't want to go stable long term as Ethiopians. It's fine to go scouts. It's fine to even make a few knights. But long term, we don't want to do it. Both because we're against Saracens and we don't get bloodlines. Our cap kind of suck. So it's not long term. We want to do, siege, how, archer. Any of those, could be combo of those or whatever. Finding another single vill. Scrappy's doing a really good job of this. I think you can still fight back. It's like kind of awkward. Yeah, okay, well, you might be okay. You might lose one vill, but it's not disastrous. Yeah, we didn't have a spear already. The lumber camp would have been nicer here next to our barracks, so the spear could be out earlier. But not a huge deal as long as we get our spears over here. Yeah, I mean, we're making scouts, but our opponent has already made 3 scouts. And we're behind. And they're actually not... Scrappy's not investing anymore. Interesting. If we can fight this... Yeah, okay, get the spears in. That's a good hit. Okay, now we're getting onto gold. Making another scout. Ooh, this is some good... That's a really good find for Jojo. Ooh. And, okay, that one does get out, but it is very low HP. Phil's thinking about his life. Oh, no, he's building a house. Never mind. Because MonkeyJuggler is housed. ILTC time looking a little better for Scrappy. Scrappy wasn't under any pressure. Seems to be like a theme here. I think... I don't know what's going on here. We're just going to leave that. Blue doesn't really get enough damage in on the opponent's base, so then Scrappy's just able to do whatever he wants. And his eco is able to fly free. We are getting the blacksmith in. Getting the market up. Looks like MonkeyJuggler is going to go into Castle Age fairly soon. Not going to make too much army. We do have 4 scouts, which I would like to see go forward. You could maybe go for the Berryvilles. Scrappy only has 2 spears, actually. I'm getting the rest of the ibexes. That's very good. Okay, now the scouts are coming forward. Dropping the farms. We need some more farms, but this is nice. Okay, we ran into the outpost. Let's see what MonkeyJuggler does with these scouts. Ooh, we're even getting the armor. Well, one, if you're going to commit to that, you probably want to wait till you research it before taking a fight. And 2, I still don't think like it's a good option because you don't want staying as long. I think cancel this upgrade right now. You don't have any. You've 1 scout. It's almost dead. Oh no. Okay. Well, I mean, you could use that for knights later, which is not a terrible option. And we don't have a range. The nice thing about not having a range here is at least our opponent doesn't have any skirms out because they haven't had a reason to. So we can still go into crossbow and Castle Age. But MonkeyJuggler isn't really setting things up for that. Floating a lot of wood. Needs more farms. Alright, see you later, Orange Mamba. Thanks for stopping by. Maybe one day you'll make it into a finals, and I'll cast your games in the finals. I'll cast your games anyway. It doesn't have to be in the finals, but Woodland's actually kind of running thin. Scrappy will have to replenish that fairly soon. Clicked up the castle for Scrappy first. Blue will be not too far behind though. Floating wood, so could drop some more ranges. Oh, okay, okay. We did plug this hole in the back. That's great. Gonna click up the castle age pretty soon. And I think what MonkeyJuggler needs to do, drop 2 ranges, put some more on gold, get fletching, get ready for crossbow. But unfortunately, we're not seeing that, which makes me a little worried. Now, Blue could be thinking about getting a bunch of spears out. We get the pike upgrade automatically, which is nice. And play defensively, which is an option. And I think in these games, we've always seen that Scrappy has an eco back home that's mostly untouched. So I think that's really what we need to change up here. And we do see the 2 ranges. I mean, maybe, I think this is, I don't know if this is to try and hide them a little bit, which is not a bad idea. We kind of know our opponent's going to go into crossbows eventually, probably, because they're Ethiopians, but I mean, this isn't that bad. It's pretty close to the front line, so it's not that long to reinforce. Actually, looks like Scrappy's playing on a tiny map, trying to conserve as much space as possible. But we're up to castle first, and we have 2 knights out. Going for a wall up here, okay. Okay, good, we're getting in archers. We do need to get fletching. We should really get fletching now, so that we can research Bodkin as soon as we get to the next age. We don't have any stone, so we can't drop another TC. And we can start producing archers out of both ranges. So Knight's coming in. Knight has bloodlines and the first armor. And we have 2 coming in. Okay, however, we do have 7 pikes for blue. And we're nicely walled up. Crossbow's coming in. We don't have fletching though. I think that's the biggest thing. We really need to get fletching. Our archers are pretty useless without fletching and bodkin. Scrappy doing a good job of trying to get in. There's a nice house wall there. Pikes are running around. I think we need a wall up here or bring some of our pikes back. Let's see. So yeah, the thing is we're chasing the knights around, which we kind of have to do. But we need to spread them out. This is like the main opening. We also could think about a monastery as well. Oh, we need to garrison these villas. I mean, this is great, but like a crossbow is going to be really strong, but not without fletching. Scrappy's really punishing the fact that blue is not full walled. The crossbows are out, but there's no, yeah, they're not going to do much. They have the first armor, we have bloodlines, and we're just now getting fletching. However, we're pushing our opponent away. We took some damage, but not huge amount. And we have up to 9 knights. It's kind of crazy. Scrappy did a really good job of producing there. Just passing moment. Okay. I think this is a decent engagement for blue. Has to be careful. As soon as those pikes die and the crossbows are being smacked by the knights, it's going to be really bad. However, this is a really nice cleanup, actually. Okay. Now, I just hope we see Bodkin. Scrappy was thinking about a forward siege even, but lost all the army, so I had to go back. Okay, we're getting from university. I'm going to think about ballistics. Ooh, this is looking good. Now we just need Bodkin and keep producing crossbows. Get more and more crossbows out. Right now, our opponent doesn't have anything really to deal with these. They have knights. The knights are going to be good. We're missing the second armor. We do have a siege workshop, so we need to be careful. Mangonel or Scorpion. Yeah, this could be an issue. Okay, we have our own siege workshop. Nice. We still really need Bodkin. You can see how little damage, even with how many crossbows, they just don't deal a lot of damage. What is this? So we have 6 damage versus 3 armor. So that's 3 damage. But it could be 4 damage. Especially if our opponent gets the next armor. It'll go down to 2 damage without Bodkin. And the extra range is also a really big deal. Making more crossbows. Adding another TC. Scrappy's adding another TC too. So now we have 2 scorpions for Scrappy, which can be an issue. But if we get a mangonel out and protect it, we should still be okay. Now we still really need bodkin. I'm gonna keep saying it. I know it's annoying. I know it's annoying to hear me say the same thing over and over, but it really, like, that is the biggest deal here. Oh no, we're running into the TC. Okay, well luckily we were smart. We didn't shoot any. Oh no. We didn't shoot anything. We didn't alert Scrappy. So actually, okay, we got unscathed mostly, so it was okay. But it could have been really bad. Crossbows are in. Okay. Again, no bodkin. The engagement would be way better if they had bodkin. I mean, it's okay. We did kill a Vil, and we caused some idle time, which is good. We're getting more crossbows out. This is good. Okay, great. Ooh, they could sit here. Where are the scorpions right now? Yeah, the scorpions are out of place. They're really slow. We don't have a mangonel. I think we need a mangonel of our own. Hopefully this is a new lumber camp pretty soon. I think you can stop adding pikes. I think you want to focus on massing more crossbows with bodkin. And get siege. Because you need to answer the enemy siege. And the pikes are not the answer. I don't mind monks. Monks are good too. Pick up some relics. And convert the enemy knights. What does Scrappy see? Scrappy doesn't see the second TC yet. JoJo has some good vision. I hope we need to keep making crossbows though. Only 15. That's not enough. Bowsaw coming in for red. We need some more farms for. Well, we don't need that many farms. We're going on mainly crossbow, but I think we need more farms if we're going to keep our TCs producing. Actually, Scrappy doesn't have any monasteries yet, so we could definitely get some relics. Oh, we don't know that yet, though. We do see this one's like just on the edge. That would be a nice bonus for us. I don't think the Siege Rock has produced anything, which is very unfortunate. If the camel mixed in, I think that's probably a mistake, but kind of crazy. The Saracen camel, 145 HP on that. Now we're getting ballistics and armor. Ah, please. If you're getting armor, get bodkin, please. Oh, no. Bodkinless crossbow are not that good. Scrappy has an eco lead here now. Has a lot of res to work with. Up to 10 Vils, doing a really good job of keeping the TCs producing. I would like to see some more activity with these knights, though. I mean, we know this is kind of well defended, but you know, it's good to get an eye on things, like scout out the sides. Oh, okay, we're playing for a castle. All right. Okay, let's see how this goes. We're producing a mangonel now, which is. I'm not sure if that's a great time to do it or a terrible time to do it. Ooh, okay, and Blue's coming forward with the army. Sees the army for coming forward. The pikes are kind of out of position. You need to pull them forward. Luckily, our opponent doesn't have the second armor, so its crossbows are not horrific. And we do have monks as well. However, now our opponent is building a castle. I think we just let this castle happen. I don't think we have enough to contest it, and also we're losing our siege workshop, which just sucks. But maybe you could pop it out and get a shot. Oh, get it. Okay, that's pretty good. I kind of think. I wonder if the scorpions would have been better, but still good option. Ooh, Scrappy's about to click imp. So this castle doesn't like hit anything directly, but it is like really well placed to get some trebs out. Thumb ring. Oh, please, please, you're killing me. Please get bodkin. You get everything but bodkin. I'm getting Mamluks out. I wouldn't recommend Mamluks here, to be honest. they're pretty crap against our Ballista. But I don't mind just one. I mean, I don't mind two. You could still use them to raid. They can still be very good to raid, to be clear. But as long as you don't engage with the enemy sort of like main force. We're going to be up to Imp, way ahead of our opponent. Throwing a lot of wood for MonkeyJuggler. Could drop a bunch of farms. Or actually, you know, our eco count's pretty close. So we drop a bunch of farms. We can get up to Castle, or sorry, get up to Imp before too long. Dropping 2 Siege Workshops. So trap can be an issue, but the trap can only be so protected, right? Like the castle only protects this region. So you still have a window of opportunity. Get up to Imp, you can get, you know, you can get yourself bomber cannons for the Ethiopians. You can shoot down any trebs. You can definitely make something happen here as MonkeyJuggler. Okay, we're making more Mamluks. I'm okay with this, as long as these go to raid. Like, imagine if they're over here, killing a bunch of vills. You don't want to engage this. It's a terrible choice. At 6 range, should be 7. Against 3. The Monks are also a good option against them in low numbers. Okay, we're up to Imp. Trev produced instantly. I like to see it. Now, Jojo's probably thinking, well, now I need to get up to Imp. And you can do that. Drop a bunch of farms. Idle TC even if you have to. But I don't think this is that horrific because the Trebs can only be so protected. I do like walling behind this. Oh, please. I'm getting the second armor of a dumb pod kid. Why? I feel like I'm being tortured. I like this. Our outposts don't cost any stone, and they have a better line of sight. Get some more vision. Oof. Taking some bad hits. You can see how... Okay. I'm going to try and shut up about Bodkin. But you would have 7 range, which is at least the same range as the Scorpions, if you had Bodkin. That would help you a lot. That being said, we have a pretty big push. I think as MonkeyJuggler, you want to try and stall. You can pick out these, you can kill these units here with your range. We want to try and get up to Imp ourselves. So we need to drop farms. We can buy and go up to Imp here. With the back TC. Also, if we can get up a castle too, that'd be great. Yeah, we have a lot of Scorpions now. So Mangonel still could kill these, but it is like getting dangerous, right? So a bomber cannon would be better. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be a downhill shot. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's good. We dodged that one. We can kill this. Okay, we didn't lose too much. It's okay. Oh no, we're not gonna get up to Imp at this rate. All right, so we're committing to army. So then we need more crossbows. We need a Mangonel. I don't think this is as threatening as it looks right now. Scrappy doesn't have that much. The main problem right now is the Scorpion, because those are going to kill all of our crossbows. But the rest of the things actually will die without too much trouble to our crossbows. Except the Mangonel, maybe. We can't kill the Trebs too easily, but if we kill everything else protecting them, then we can kill the Trebs with something else. Going for a counterattack with the crossbows, okay. I think we need to get up to Imp, though. We really need Imperial Age units. You know, we get Arbalester with Bracer, we get Chemistry, we get Bomber Cannon. Right now we're floating a lot of res. Right now you can even just buy the food and click up. Now the blacksmith's going down. I'm not sure if we're ever going to see Bodkin at this point. This TC's going down. This crossbow could actually go in and kill a lot. There is no army at home at all. Yeah, if these crossbows go in, it could kill like everything here. It would take a while for... Because the thing with the Scorpions is they're really slow. This is a dangerous amount of Scorpions for our crossbow mass, but they cannot get back in time. Okay, we're dropping dropping a castle. That will slow things down at least. Coming in with our crossbows. Get some good damage in. Ooh. I don't think Scrappy sees this right now. Castle's up. That will go down eventually to the Trebs, but at least gives the Bills some time. And we're not spending our res as blue. If we get this TC up, we can still click up to Imp. I think we really need to be an Imp. I don't think we can stay in Castle Age. There's no way to deal with what our opponent has. Okay, the Scurvys are coming in. Now, hold the... Okay, great. We're up to Imp. Pull the crossbows away. Where do we click? Okay. This should be safe. Because Scrappy's looking over here. Uh-oh. Scorpions are in there killing a lot. Ooh. This is not good. We just lost our whole bunch of crossbows. Luckily, we're still getting some more damage. Actually, we're ahead of Vils now somehow, just because of the damage that counterattack did. This is a big problem. Scrappy's actually floating a lot of res, like 2,500 food. You could feed your opponent with that food. Side castle here. Crossbows coming out. Man, imagine if these had Bodkin though. This castle goes down. Now all these vills are out in the open. More crossbows find some more damage. Going to camels. We do get a heavy camel. But against Saracens, don't think it's good enough. I think MonkeyJuggler might think, okay, I lost all my crossbows. They died to all the scorpions. It's not the option. I need something else. But I think you need to commit more to the Arbalester and get some bomb arcans out to deal with the scorpions. If we can get a light cav, it'll be Hussar soon for Saracens. I think I get that right? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to Fortune. I mean, see, our camels just kind of suck. Especially compared to Saracen ones, so that's not going to work out for us. We just need to go into crossbow. Oh no. We're running full camel. Look at, there's still opportunity for a counterattack though. You see how Scrappy is still kind of open at home. It's looking bad. Somehow though, blue has kept the eco count, like, is ahead still. This is very nice. I mean, at least these camels are getting engagements. Like the Mamluks are sitting here and they're getting hit. We don't have heavy camel yet. And Scrappy hasn't replenished the vills that he lost. But if our opponent's on camels, then we can just make our own camels and Mamluks, and they're gonna shred. Crossbows being annoying, very well played from MonkeyJuggler. Ooh, that's castle on the enemy gold. Okay, it's a nice aggressive castle. But these traps are gonna come forward. They're gonna kill this TC. Still more TCs for blue, and actually we have 20 more vills. It's kind of crazy. Scrappy kind of having some difficulties finishing off his opponent. But I think he... Like, still long-term, this is not good for blue without Arbalesters to rely on. And we only have 8 army. Go for some more raids on the side. I do like this castle hopping, though. I do like this from blue. I don't know if this... The Scorpion could alt-click on these vills and deny this castle, probably. There's from downhill, these trebs. Now we're getting heavy camel. Jeez, yeah, things are getting rougher and rough. for blue. Yeah, now these bills are all out in the open. They have nothing to protect them. We could still have a comp to deal with camels, but I think it's Halb. I don't think it's heavy camel. All these bills are gonna die. Building another TC. Oh no, yeah, this castle was denied. And this Scrappy is gonna be really annoying. Now we have 0 army for blue. Still have a lot of bills though. Done a really good job of keeping them. Scrappy has not replenished the numbers still. What does Scrappy see here? So it hasn't seen... I mean, like, knows about this. Can maybe think there might be TCs still left. But, yeah, once Scrappy gets out to the sides, I mean... What else can blue really do? This castle's gonna go down. And the GG is called. And that means our champion of the recruits bracket in the open land division is Scrappy Coco. Congratulations. If you're, I don't know if you're still here, Scrappy, but congrats to you for winning this whole set. Very well played. Well, I just realized the logo was covering... I realized the logo is covering your name. Sorry about that. Let me fix that here. Yeah. But either way, very well played. And nice work from your side. I think, you know, this was all very nicely well played from your part. I think you were really good. You opened stable each time. I think you did really well with the scouts. I think your opponent put up a really good fight as well. I think there were definitely still some opportunity, especially when he had a nice crossbow mess and pike mess. If he had Bodkin as well, he got like every upgrade he needed, but Bodkin. Could have done a lot of damage. I think if he went Halb, Arbalest, you'd have way more trouble. And also Bomber Cannons deal with the Scorpions or like, you know, Onager or something like that. But, you know, congratulations to Scrappy here. Very well played. You can take a look at the stats here. How, you know, you can see how Scrappy was like ahead, but it's not that far off. Like, it's still pretty close. And at some point, Scrappy lost a lot of vills and never really replenished them. Blue kept the vills for a while, and then only towards the end lost them all. But I think, you know, just didn't really have the military to deal with what Scrappy had. So in the end, it was a big problem. And the imp timing was an issue too, where I think if MonkeyJuggler got it to imp much faster, maybe we could get a bombard cannon out, get some Arbalesters out, and could, you know, fight back a little bit better. But as is, did not quite happen that way. And I think that is all for me, folks. There was another set I was going to cast. I might take a moment and cast that later, I think. Or later tonight in a few minutes. I'm probably get some water. I don't really have a wait screen. So let me, here, for anyone joining the stream, I guess I'll craft one right now. Hold on a second here. And here we go. Okay. B R B. Alright, folks, for anyone, I think it's just Scrappy right now, but anyone joining, I'll be back in a little bit after I get some water. I'm quite thirsty. Thanks, Scrappy, for coming around. Hope you enjoyed that cast. And congratulations again to you. And I guess we'll see what big things you get up to in the WWC Community Cup. But I'll be back shortly, folks. Hello everyone. I'm back. And oh, that's the wrong notes. All right. Make sure this is displaying correctly. Okay. Oh, I can see there's a lot more crap here. Let me fix this so you can actually read it. Man, this guy really picked this many civs? Jeez. Okay. So, everyone, we are on to the hybrid division. Let me move this. It's banned too many civs as well. Let me fix this. I'll fix this. We are on to the hybrid division, specifically the Norseman bracket, which is, in fact, the bracket that I played in. I did get knocked out in the, I think it was just the quarterfinals. Interestingly, I got knocked out against Nessie, someone I've beaten before and lost against, good player. And he went up against JagWarrior, who I've actually beaten when we played, but this time he made it to the grand finals. When I played both of these players in in the group sets, I actually did beat both of them, but hey, they made it to the finals and I did not. So, what does this say about me? It means maybe I'm not as good as I think. Or really, probably, they're just better than people may think. It's around 300, 1400 elo-ish. It's about my elo, give or take. I think it's kind of volatile when you don't have like 1,000 plus games. But in any case, we're going to take a look at the drafts here. So, we have for Age of Hempires picking, which I'll probably refer to as, I think his shorthand name is just Hempy, which is easier to say. So I think I'll just stick with that. As long as no one tells me that that's horribly wrong. We have Bay and Isthmus. JagWarrior picking High Tides and Shoals. And the Cup will be the admin picker in the first game. Is he, I think, when I checked, yeah, Bay is very popular. Pants, very popular for Hempy here. The other map was banned out. And banning Evacuation a lot, which is probably good for you because JagWarrior seemed to like Evacuation. He liked playing Mongols on it. He also liked playing High Tides. He did get that pick, and he also liked playing Bay. So I think this is probably a decent pool for both players to pick from. Taking a look at the civs. So for the civ side, I think JagWarrior plays Lithuanians. He's played Lithuanians a lot more than any other civ in general. And he did get Lithuanians here. They're not exceptional on hybrid, but it's not like they're bad. They're good on land, so they're going to be good on hybrid as well. And probably, any bonus to your starting res is going to be good for hybrid settings. It's going to help you get to your dock sooner, which is always going to be good because your fish is amazing to have. So you can see how these players have picked a lot of different civs. I think the main thing, particularly like at Hempy here, picking Armenians a lot. He likes his Byzantines, I know. He picked Koreans, Berbers a lot, and Japanese. Both players have picked Berbers quite a few times, and we did see Hempy got it as the second pick, and seems to think that Jag seems to think Lithuanians and Hindustani were higher priority. Did get the Q, which is an interesting pick. I don't usually see them as a great choice in the hybrid. It's you have to invest all your wood on the second TC if you're going for the second TC, and if you go to water, they are horrific. They don't have any short bombardment. They don't have bracer. Not that it matters in feudal age, but you don't want to play towards the water control long term because they are just absolutely horrific. Oh yeah, all right, Scrappy. I'll see you around. Thanks for coming around, and I'll talk to you later. And pretty nice spread. We also have the Huns, which I wouldn't call them a hybrid civ. The not having to place houses is a good wood bonus. They can't get their dock out super early because they are only 500 wood, so you have to get the lumber camp up first. Georgians are better at this actually because they don't have to build a lumber camp at all. You just have a mule cart that you start with. You could chop some wood from that. Even triangles if you want to do with a mule cart. You can get the duck out real early. Japanese, of course, are really good. Persian, really good. These are not a bunch of really nice hybrid choices. Look at Jag's pace. I think these are less, I would say these are less hybrid focused. You know, Khmer especially. Hindustanis. Koreans are, Saracens are good, and Koreans are good water civs. But, you know, it looks to me, if I just look at the picks, I would say JagWarrior is maybe a little more focused on playing towards land than getting lots of water control. Well, we'll see. All of these civs have fires, unlike Vikings, so they can still contest water early. Also interesting to see Byzantines banned from Hempy. I think he likes the Byzantines, so I'm surprised he didn't pick them. But maybe he just he wanted to prioritize the Georgians pick here, so he doesn't mind banning that out because he doesn't want his opponent to get it. But Jag really worried about the Lithuanians. He wants to get his Lithuanians, which I think he's very comfortable with. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, everyone. So on to game number 1. We have JagWarrior with the Koreans in the green, and we have Hempy, Age of Empires, with the Armenians in the orange. And we're here on Cup. Actually, I don't think I've ever played... I don't think I ever ended up playing this map in the tournament, interestingly enough. But you can see how there's a nice bit of fish. At some point, this gold may be an issue long term. And the water actually covers a lot of the map. You know, you can see it like water control could be an issue long term if you don't have it, because you could shell a lot of stuff. I mean, of course, if you have stuff in the corner, not as big a deal. But you see how these minerals are pretty close to the shoreline. So water control is a big deal. Demos are also a pretty big deal on this map because, of course, this is walkable terrain. The mangrove is walkable by, I would say, by humans, which is true. But I mean to be a little more general. Not just humans, but in general, land units. Demos can be a big issue. Armenians having a unique tech that gives their demos a larger explosion radius. I'm not sure we'll see that. That's kind of rare to see, but that could be something long term. Interestingly, for the Koreans, we don't have demo ships. So, you know, usually the issue with not having demos is like your opponent gets a bunch of fires out and you're trying to, you know, get back on the water. You don't have that option. You can get punished more readily. But here, demos can actually be a pretty big military choice, just like because you're the most direct way to your opponent's base is past the water. So they go past the water, you have a demo ready, you kill your opponent's army, and then it's like GG. So we'll see how things play out there. For the opponent's civs, we have Armenian, or the opponent's civ rather, singular. Armenian docking already. No dock yet from Jag. Hempy's he's very clean with his hybrid builds. I'm not nearly as good at it. I think I wing it too much, or maybe it's just bad the settings. But he's very good at getting the dock up really nice and early, which is a great thing to have because you want to get on this fish as soon as possible. Now, the Armenians, they have a fair amount of options. They have good knights. Oh, game over. Uh-oh. Hope this game isn't, oh dear. I'm a little worried this may be a game from the olden times that I can't watch. I gotta check when this was played. Yeah, I was saying blah, blah, blah. Alright, one sec, folks. Let's see. When was this played? This is a slight problem. Let's see. It was played on the 8th. Ooh. They did have a patch since then, I think. Let me see here. It's possible it's on the old patch. I started this before, and I didn't see any problem with it. That's why I didn't think it would be an issue, but looks like it is indeed an issue. That's a problem. Alright, folks, I'm going to go and end the stream for now. I'm going to have to see about... I should still be able to... I think it's just one patch old, so I should still be able to find a way to cast this. But for the time being, I'm going to call it here, and I'll figure out how to stitch things together. And that's all for right now, folks.